fans around the world, what's going on? Welcome to tonight's edition of the TNA Recipe. As always, I'm your host, Big Red. Tonight, with my special guest host, Anthony Ultra Chris Golden Cox.
You botched that whole
thing.
Anthony Ultra Golden Chris Cox, as always. Repping the good folks over at kayfabekickout.com. How you doing?
How you doing, man? What's going on?
Oh, yeah, not much here. I have a lot of good things to say about tonight's show.
Yeah, tonight was a good show. As always, we got our producer extraordinaire, Mr. EL.CIBERNETICO.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Man, how you doing tonight?
Hey! Don't boo me.
All right. Tonight was a good Impact. I had no complaints with it. You know what I'm saying? Tonight I'm gonna go ahead and let Andy take the reins on this one.
All right, well, thank you for letting me take the reins tonight. Let's start off with the beginning of the show. At the beginning of the show, we had our video package segment starting with Bully Ray. As he explained, he took 9 months worth of storyline and started right then and there at the beginning of the show explaining how he was the leader of Aces and Eights the whole time. Now, this was just the first of many segments, but he just basically told everybody, hey, I'm going to tell you how my maniacal plan worked. Great, and this was great. I have no complaints about that at all. Now, to start off the show, Hogan came out to a very great ovation from the Chicago crowd. They seemed very happy to see Hulk Hogan. They talked about what Aces and Eights did to him and his family. And then what Hogan does next is he brings out Samoa Joe, Magnus, Kurt Angle, and Jeff Hardy, the 4 guys who ended last week's episode getting their asses kicked by Aces and Eights. And what he did was he asked Jeff Hardy if he wanted to go ahead and invoke his rematch clause. And while Jeff Hardy said that he was ready despite getting attacked by Aces and Eights, he decided that the best thing to do was to have a 4-way match to determine who the number 1 contender was, just in case he wasn't ready to invoke that rematch yet with Bully Ray, which I actually found very commendable. He said, hey, if I can't do it, why don't we have a match to decide on who the first guy is to get a crack at him?
Right.
But, and what that did for us is that set up the main event. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like that because, the thing is that, you got 4 guys that are excellent in the ring. Hey, why not throw them in the match? To see who the better man was that night. I thought that was a good idea. I commend Jeff Hardy in that because it's like, just in case, I'm still not 100% ready. Why don't you go ahead and stir up the pot? You know what I'm saying? And see who is ready to go do it. If I'm ready or not. Basically, that's what it was, a test to see if he was ready.
Exactly. And like I said, that set up the main event for the night and gave us a possibility of, if not Jeff Hardy, maybe one of the 3 other guys will step up and get their shot. After that, we got the got the first match on the show. They jumped right off with a World Tag Team title match with Bobby Roode and Austin Aries as the tag champs taking on Chavo and Hernandez. Well, the match was a bit redundant and everything, as these guys have wrestled each other quite a few times. The match itself was pretty good. You got to see a lot of great spots. Chavo hit the 3 Amigos move and everything. But, of course, when you have any match with Austin Aries involved, the heel that he is, he's going to do something sneaky to make sure that his team leaves with those tag team titles. And, yeah.
Just what his shirt says, Dirty Heel.
Yep, Dirty Heels, exactly. Exactly. Austin Aries got the pin for his team, rolling up Chavo and grabbing a handful of tights for good measure. One of the classic moves in pro wrestling. So they retained the tag team titles, but after that, the team of Bad Influence, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, came into the ring. They took out the tag champs to let everybody know, hey, don't forget about us. We still want the tag team titles.
Right.
Making themselves a bit of a wild card. You got to do that.
They can't let you know, hey, we didn't come out here to help y'all. See, we came out here to bust you in the head too, to let you know, hey, we want our titles back.
Exactly. And now we're going to probably see Kazarian and Christopher Daniels by default, unless we get a couple more tag teams in there, would have to be the next group of the next team to get a shot at the tag team titles. Yeah, hopefully they'll get some more tag teams there, but hey, I'm fine with who we have right now. Then after this match had ended, TNA went ahead. They announced the rules for what they call the next generation of the X Division, and they kept things the same as far as the weight limit goes at 230, which I think is a good idea. I always felt that the X Division title should be treated like a cruiserweight or like a light heavyweight title, but the big part here is that every single one of the matches now will be contested in a three-way contest. I think that's going to add a bit more excitement to the X Division.
All right. And hopefully they start bringing some of these other guys up, to the main roster that's X Division now, because you can't do it with just, right now all they have competing in the X Division category is Kenny King, RVD, Zima Ion, and I'm like, these are the only four main guys you've been having on TV all this time during the X. I'm like, dude, you have more on your roster. What the hell is this? We don't want to see these four go at it all the time. Because every time we turned around, you saw Kenny King and RVD, and I'm like, this is just.
I agree. It is time for them to mix it up a bit, and there's a lot of smaller guys that they can grab. Like I said, I would say, pick up some of those guys that they have on their roster from OVW. Have some of them come in and compete in the X Division. Bring in an international star or two.
Matter of fact, they just signed that one British dude when they was over in England, Rockstar Spud.
Rockstar Spud, yeah, he's a good fit. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of him, but hey, he's a good fit for that position. What do you got to call it?
What's up? Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Wade Barrett's little brother, Doug Barrett.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, I got my elbow pad on. I may be drunk, but I can still throw a good mean elbow.
That's what she said.
Hey, your mama liked it.
No, she don't like British guys. She only likes Mexicans.
Hey, I'm American. and I'm half black, so pick me.
Wow. Yeah. Keep it so.
Which half?
So somebody said my name. Thank you. So what was the question?
So Doug, you heard the guys talking about the whole, cruiserweight division, or should I say X division?
Okay, that question. I love the X division. It's what literally got me to like TNA back when they were still with the NWA. God, I feel old. But it just feels like you're repeating. We don't have any ideas. We're just gonna keep plugging RVD and Kenny King into either A. We can actually pull a New Japan wrestler out of our ass. And that's about it.
Right. Yeah, this is like, you gotta remember, the X Division is what built TNA. That's what what they were known for. And right now, you are just so lacking in their division.
Right. The X Division, like I said, in TNA, like you just said, in TNA's early days, the X Division was their bread and butter. That was their main. The X Division match used to be the main event.
Right. It's like the X Division title overshadowed the World Heavyweight title.
Right.
Yeah,
sure did.
So yeah, I feel they need to step back up on their X Division, man, because you treating your I mean, that was your premier division, and now you're treating it like a stepchild. Oops.
Right. Because there's a certain person that's in the ear of the owner that's saying, hey, these guys are too small, brother. We know who that is.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, he acting like somebody else we know.
And then, well, speaking of the X Division, that brought us right into the X Division title match, where you had the champion, Kenny King, going up against Zema Ion and a returning Sanjay Dutt.
Oh, man. God,
yeah,
man, I love watching Sanjay Dutt wrestle. I love it. I mean,
it's always good it was good to see Sanjay Dutt back in the TNA ring. He might have, maybe slipped up here and there, but you can't expect perfection. And sometimes it's hard to expect perfection in matches where you have that are so fast-paced and a bunch of high spots. You're bound to see a couple botches here and there. But I think that Sanjay D, he wore off a lot of that. Maybe it was that TNA ring rust that he had, and helped him actually have a pretty good match. All three competitors. I'm going to tell you, hey, for me, I'm a big fan of Zema Ion because I've known him from the independent scenes out here in Pittsburgh, and he was always one of my favorites. So I'm always going to support that dude. Kenny King always does his thing, and so that's Sanjay Dutt. Good match that ended with Kenny King getting the win.
Yep. I mean, that was a nice move he did, too. That was nice. I was like, oh, wow, that was nice.
Oh, yeah, look, the moves off, the Kenny King's Royal Flush, there was very little to dislike about it. I like Sanjay Dutt's move where he hops off the top and does a flip and stomp song. I enjoy that move.
Oh, yeah. I was like, man. I was like, oh, what the hell he finna do? I was like, I see he did that moonsault. I was like, oh, man, that was awesome.
And then after the match had ended, we had a segment where Sting talks to Hulk Hogan and he's trying to ask Hogan to give him a match with Bully Ray, but Hogan continues to yell at Sting. They're having their problems, and he even brings up an old WCW reference, telling Sting to go hide in the rafters for a few years.
Right? I was like, wow, Hulk went hard. Hulk went ham on him. I'm like, dude, really?
And it's like, Hogan, he hid in the rafters so that he could finally whoop your ass, did he not?
Oh, hell no!
Yeah, and that was the ironic thing about it. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't he whoop your ass?
And then in between all of this, before they went to commercial, Bully Ray continued to talk about how he was the leader of Aces and Eights, and once again, bit by bit, explaining his diabolical plan. This Bully Ray, he's great. I can't say anything bad about the guy. He made it all believable. Anybody, if you watched all the segments where Bully Ray talked about what he did and how everything got together, you can't say that nothing made sense anymore. Because he made it make sense.
Yep.
And then,
I agree.
Yeah, and then after Sting went nuts on Hogan and everything, Taryn Terrell came out. As we know, she's been the referee of the Knockouts, but they think that she's been abusing her authority a bit. With Gal, in regards to Gal Kim.
Oh yeah, man. I thought that was bullshit. Putting her on probation. I'm like, wait a minute. Gail Kim got up in her face and slapped the shit out of her first. So
right,
you expect for her to just sit in the corner and just take that shit?
And when I hear Taryn Terrell on the mic, I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a degree in English literature from when I was in college. But there's something sexy about the way that she enunciates her words. I'm sorry, there is. I gotta get turned on. Hey, look. Look. I got a thing for women with good articulation. I'm sorry. But after Brooke Hogan came out and let her know that she was fired as the referee, But she's now officially signed to a contract as an active wrestler, meaning that she can get physical with whoever she wants.
She said that Gail Kim turn around into a spear.
Right. And the two of them, and of course, while the two of them are brawling to the back, who comes into the ring and gets behind Brooke Hogan? There's Bully Ray. Wearing his wedding band, talking stuff while Brooke's crying, talking about how she hates him. Bully Ray's like, yeah, till death do us part. Which, I don't understand why she doesn't just get a divorce, but hey.
See, it was hilarious. I'm like, really?
It was. And then we have Kurt Angle backstage, because for Kurt Angle, this match was important because Kurt Angle, 13-time world champion, is going a year and a half without holding that title. So he's getting antsy for another shot at being the champ. Yeah. Kurt Angle, even at his advanced age, as we see, Kurt Angle's still a wrestling machine. And after that segment ended, we had Matt Morgan versus Joseph Park, which was the challenge that was made from last week. While Joseph Park hit on his own, Matt Morgan got him with the carbon footprint, and that was it.
Yeah, I'm getting like a little real, I don't know, this Joseph Park gimmick is kind of getting a little stale to me now.
Oh, come on. I love the gimmick. Like every time I see Joseph Park on my TV, I start laughing. I truly do. But, maybe soon his quote-unquote, maybe soon he'll step out and go back to being a lawyer, and his quote-unquote brother Abyss will come through again. Time will tell. Right. But, nobody wants to see Joseph Park come out there and keep getting his ass kicked.
I got to be honest, that storyline's pissing me off.
Right, because you're wondering, well, hey, what's he supposed to be doing? Is he going to keep on getting beat up? Or is he going to eventually go nuts?
There's one more little thing. Unless you didn't watch TNA in the NWA days, I think everyone kind of knows Joseph Parks is fucking Abyss. Do they really think a lot of us are that stupid?
Well, yeah, look, we all know it, but look, a long time ago, back in the NWA days, back in the 80s, everybody knew that the Midnight Rider was Dusty Rhodes, too.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the thing. We all know that he's Abyss, but
that's why I don't think it's working, because a lot of us know he's Abyss, and I know with the ones who don't know he's Abyss, it's working, but the ones who know he's Abyss, it's like, come on, bring back Abyss. That's why we like him, because he's
right. Well, like I said, Abyss will be back eventually. I just think what happened was maybe Abyss, maybe his TV face was just wearing off on TNA television.
Yeah, so, maybe the strict authority.
But he'll be back at some point, because remember, and then Matt Morgan said that his goal was to get rid of all of Hogan's goofs and all of Hogan's clowns. So only time will tell if Matt Morgan, who not only does Bully Ray have a feud with Hulk Hogan or have a gripe with Hogan, but so does Matt Morgan. So I guess we'll have to see where that goes, won't we?
Yeah.
And then let's see what happened next. We had a camera guy talking to Jeff Hardy about what it would mean for him to go out for Bully Ray and get a chance to become world champion once again. And he said, he wants the world title back. He said he has to get the job done first. That's why he wanted to do the 4-way match, so that in case he's not ready, the other guys that are there will have his back, and one of them can be the one to get the belt away from Aces and Eights. Like we said, can't hate him for that. It shows very noble of Jeff Hardy, which, I mean, I'm the type of person who would be like, no, it's all about me being the world champ again. But hey, Jeff Hardy.
Right.
Yeah. And then next we had Mike Tenay when he was talking to, he brought out AJ Styles, asking him about the rumors of, drugs and alcohol abuse. What's going on, AJ? What's the problem? And then Taz shows up and offers him a spot in Aces and Eights.
Right, and this whole time AJ just standing there staring. He ain't saying shit to nobody, not one word. And he just looking like he just had that look on their face like, why are y'all fucking with me right now?
Right. It's more of, look, why do you guys have me on the show? Why do you guys want to ask me questions? I'm really not in the mood for it. And then out comes James Storm, who he himself, of course, he has beef with AJ Styles because it's like, dude, you punched me in the face last week for no reason. And what happened, and what was funny is, did you guys hear the crowd chanting, "Hug it out"?
Yeah. I'm like, are they saying "hug it out"? Really?
Yeah, I started laughing when I heard that. I'm like, but as we saw, AJ once again, even after James Storm threatened him and said, "Hey, if you punch me, I'll punch you back this time," AJ turned around, walked away, and AJ hasn't said a word. Him not talking was way stronger than him saying any words at all.
I got an idea. Now, it's a drunk idea, so please don't get too mad. Is it just me, or does this kind of feel like when Sting decided to go mute for those years, what they're doing with AJ?
Hey, I had that same idea, drunk and sober, that they're doing that. Yeah, they kind of are doing the same thing, where nobody knows, AJ Styles is being quiet. AJ Styles isn't saying whose side he's on or what it is. I think more than anything, AJ Styles is just pissed off. It's not about picking a side. But we may see, just like with Sting in WCW, that he'll come through when TNA needs him the most, like in their darkest hour. And that's why I was saying that sometimes there's nothing wrong with borrowing old storylines, because after 10 to 12 years, there's enough turnover in the wrestling fan base that the only people that are going to know about it are the people that have been watching wrestling, since they, for a very, very, very long time. And there's a lot of people that, there's a lot of new fans now within these past 10 to 12 years.
And YouTube helps.
Yeah, well, YouTube, yeah, that's true. And, but yeah, I feel that this storyline with AJ Styles, it can work as long as they let it play out and they don't rush it and let the slow burn go through. And then after that, they ended the show with our main event, which between Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, Magnus, and Kurt Angle to decide on who the number one contender for the belt was going to be. Pretty good match. We got to see a lot of guys. They all hit some of their best moves. Kurt Angle put Samoa Joe in an ankle lock, and all it reminded me of was the awesome feud that they had back in the mid-2000s between 2006, 2007, 2008. But Jeff Hardy hit the twist of fate on just about everybody in the ring. But as we saw, when Samoa Joe was in the ankle lock and he was able to get Kurt Angle to release the hold by booting him off, Jeff Hardy came out of nowhere with the Swanton Bomb and hit it on Samoa Joe and got the pin. And I was like, well, here we go. Jeff Hardy's getting another shot at the title, but hey, at least he earned the rematch instead of just saying, hey, give me a rematch. That's pretty creative, if you ask me.
I'm going to let somebody else speak, because if I say what I'm about to say, I'm going to get booed out of this phone call.
Here's my question. When does he get a shot at the title? When does he get his rematch? Are they going to have it next week, next month, or are they going to wait for Slammiversary?
I'm going to say they're going to wait till Slammiversary.
Yeah, that would be good. At least it would give the match a little bit of, with TNA cutting down their pay-per-views, it does give their feuds a little bit more time to build up in regards to their big pay-per-views. So,
and if you want money, make the people wait for it and force them to buy the pay-per-view.
That's right. It's a lot better than, hey, we're going to have the rematch at next month's pay-per-view. This beats that. At least we'll get about we're going to get about a good 2 to 3 months of build-up, and that's always good.
And there's also another hidden good thing about it. If the worst happens and Jeff Hardy gets injured, which could happen because who knows, you have a shot to fix the story quickly instead of, ooh, whoops, he gets injured the week before the pay-per-view. What the fuck are we going to do?
Right. This stops a lot of the fast food wrestling that professional wrestling has rammed down our throats within the past 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. But, I might be the only one who says this, I'm not happy Jeff Hardy's getting a title shot.
I mean, look, you know what? In my opinion, who would you have rather gotten a shot?
Out of the four in there, Kurt Angle, Magnus, if I'm saying his name right, and Samoa Joe, I would go with the British guy because you could do something that WCW or WWE has not done. You could build a story and say he could be the first British heavyweight champion here in America.
British guys stick together.
I was going to say, if it was up to me, I would have had it where Magnus won, so that way people aren't worn out on Jeff Hardy, and plus to give somebody a shot at the title. And the thing is, win or lose, if Magnus goes wall to wall with Bully Ray, and he has a good match, it sets him up for the future to maybe get another title shot down the line. Yeah, I was actually going with Magnus myself because let's get a fresh face in there. But then again, why not? I wouldn't have had a problem with Samoa Joe winning it either because Samoa Joe's somebody that in the past few years that they dropped the ball. Samoa Joe should be some badass. I'm glad they got to go.
You know what? I actually feel like Samoa Joe should have been holding that belt instead of Hardy.
Yeah. Like Samoa Joe's one of those guys that I hope that he gets another shot at being the world champion. Because like he's legit. Samoa Joe, I remember when I first saw Samoa Joe back in the early 2000s, it was like, you were seeing, Samoan submission, and it was like seeing another Taz. And I said, man, this guy could be a top guy for years to come in a company like TNA. And then they put the belt on him, had him lose the title, and he kind of just got shafted back down to mid-card. And he became so whiny, and we had to see all that dumb stuff like Nation of Violence or the time that he got kidnapped by ninjas.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. Joe must be getting a lot of money, or he's like, think of the money.
Oh, that stupid ass shit he was doing with the Pope and shit, following him around and video recording him and shit.
But when he got kidnapped by the ninjas, I remember when he got kidnapped by the ninjas, he just came back a few months later like nothing happened. They never explained, well, did you escape? Did you beat up the ninjas or something? What happened?
I was waiting for him to say I got saved by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right, like, yeah. I'm like, did somebody save you? Did you kick someone? Like, what happened? Did you kick someone's ass? Did they decide that they were just going to let you go? Right, what? So, overall, for the folks that, who checked it out, what did you think of the show overall? Out of a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
What, tonight's show?
Yeah, tonight's show.
I give it an 8. Simply because the segments with Bully Ray made it so much better too. Because to explain how he fooled everybody for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
And explain everybody's part. I mean, even down to why Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe turned on Kurt Angle.
Right. Yes. Exactly. He explained everything. No detail was left out.
I mean, he explained why Devon turned. He said why Knox and Doc why they joined, and I'm like, wow. I mean, he explained everybody that had a part in it. He explained everybody's part.
Mm-hmm. He explained everybody's part of the whole thing and how everybody, playing the position. He even explained why Devon attacked him at the wedding. He said that.
Right.
He attacked me. He said, next time we fought, I made sure to bloody him up a bit. That way, nobody was suspicious. He explained how he got into Bobby Roode's ear and made him think that James Storm was a member. That's just a way to throw everybody off.
Right. I mean, they played it up so. I mean, I'm like, damn. I mean, you know, for a while we were all getting fidgety about, okay, who is who? Why don't they go ahead and reveal who's who? But in the end, it's been worth it because they're going somewhere with this storyline.
Yeah, finally.
Exactly, they are.
As wrestling fans, we're not patient anymore with storylines.
Right.
It's something that we miss.
Exactly. But go ahead. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, exactly. I mean, I guess the wait now it's been worth the wait because tonight when he put everything together for the past 9 months, you're like, oh, now it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Every time he talked, I was like, oh, yeah, that's why he did that. Oh, we got another caller.
What's going on, Doolin?
Hey.
Hey, Doolin. How you doing?
I think there's a phrase that this may not be the best phrase to use. There's a phrase I would use to describe this 9-month plan and how TNA let it all culminate. It's like a slow meal that you are cooking. You're taking your time with it and really letting it savor the flavor. You know, really letting it simmer. Really letting it, you know, letting
the marinate.
Right,
letting the marinate. You know, and then when the finished product, people may not be patient, but if you're patient enough with it, it will be one of the best meals you ever had. And this, I think you guys would agree with me. That's how I feel about this thing with TNA, with what just happened at Lockdown and how they're going somewhere with this. I agreed with most of you thinking, where the heck is the storyline going? But like you guys said, now that they've culminated like this, it actually makes sense now.
It all makes sense in the end. Exactly.
Right.
Like we said it multiple times. The way that Bully Ray explained it, it all makes sense, and everybody played their part to perfection.
Yeah. I mean, even down to why, you know, everybody got unmasked when they did. Even the unmaskings were planned. And that's the thing that tripped me out, because he said he wanted to make sure that every last person was revealed down to him being the president. He wanted everybody's faces to be known by the time it got to him. Even though it seemed like they got unmasked unwillingly, but if you think about it, there were times that that people were getting, like, if you look at the times they were getting unmasked, you would have thought that, wait a minute, aren't they coming in there to stop him real quick? Because there were times when they were about to get unmasked, and then the other members stopped them. But then there were other times where the other members either didn't show up at that time or kept out when really they shouldn't have been kept out. Again, it's just like when Doc got unmasked. That was a one-on-one match between him and Sting, and he unmasked him. Nobody else came out there to none of the rest of the guys came out there to to keep him from unmasking him. It was like. Yeah, that was
planned. And if you think about it, it also sent another message, because remember what happened when he and Mike Knox were unmasked? They went ham on Sting and Kurt Angle, respectively. They went ham on Sting, Kurt Angle, Eric Young, Magnus. So that's another reason why they probably wanted them unmasked, because at first, the first two that were unmasked at that point went ham with the hammers. And helped Devon get the television title, which he still has.
And then we got to remember, what about when D'Lo Brown got unmasked? Well, he got unmasked the week before, and Kurt Angle had that stunned look on his face. But the whole thing was, hey, it's all right if we unmasked him. It was just a trap for you to come in here so we can beat your ass too. That's all that was.
That's true.
Just a way to kick his ass.
Hey,
and let's not forget, he was the one that got. He basically was the one that got Wes into TNA. Because of the fact that he, without 100% hesitation, automatically said yes to Wes. And the other two were looking at him like, what the hell?
Right, and the thing is, I'm gonna have to bring this up again, but yeah, even though I was right on him, and I mean they even explained that part about like back to when H first got there, he was like, let him in.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was looking at him like, what? Let him in? You don't want to show damn mind?
Yeah, after Al Snow gets injured and D'Lo gets the chance to step in conveniently.
Right.
Exactly.
All right. Excellent. One more time. So we already got one opinion on a scale of 1 to 10. What did you think of the show? We got an 8 from you. I'm also going to give it an 8. I would never give a show a 10 because no show is perfect, but for the same reasons. Because not only were the matches good, Bully Ray's segments carried the storyline along and gave us a great explanation. And I'll tell you what, Dylan, what did you think? Scale of 1 to 10.
Especially with the way with Bully, and many people have said this, and people were saying this before he even turned face. Many people said this when he first turned on Devon in the first place, and carried over a little bit after that. It's like many people said he's the best heel in wrestling right now, and this is exactly proof of it. A storyline that many people were getting confused about, but if you have him leading, it's a reason why I will agree at this point he is the best heel in wrestling right now. Better than CM Punk. I'll even go there.
Cool. So what did you think of the show, scale 1 to 10?
Now, I can't really give a score on the show because I was only able to watch the 4-way number 1 contenders match because I got off work by the time everything else happened, so I can't really give it a score. The match itself, though, I'll probably give a 7 or 8. I was kind of hoping for Magnus to win personally, because I know storyline-wise it needs to be Jeff Hardy, but I was actually kind of going for Magnus, because all the other 3 have held the belt, especially Hardy and Angle, because they've held it multiple times. I wanted to see Magnus get it for once, and he had a hell of a performance. All 4 of them did, but I was especially impressed by Magnus.
Oh, excellent. Anybody else have an opinion on the show as far as the 1 to 10?
I'm gonna have to agree with Dueling on. I'm gonna have to agree with Dueling. I'm gonna have to give it another 8 as well. I mean, with Red. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we all gave it 8. Yeah, I mean that's. Anybody that has anything bad to say about this show is just a goof or a moron.
Or a extreme version of a WWE fanboy, but that's another story.
WCC is not responsible for both Dueling and Ant's comments. Thank you.
All right, guys, are we ready to wrap this one up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Ant, hey, let them know where they can find you.
All right, you can find me, of course, at www.kayfabekickout.com, where I am a featured columnist. I write a different article each and every week. When you go to the website, just click on the article section. You'll find articles by me and some of the other great writers over at Kayfabe Kickout. You can also follow me on Twitter at Who's Ant Cox. You tweet me, I always tweet back. Follow me, I always follow back. I promise that.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at RedDun81. You can find me on Facebook, in the group Wrestling Commentary Central. Hey, hit us up at WCC Live. Like I said, you listen to the TNA Recipe. We're here every Thursday night after Impact. The number to call is 760-569-7676. Again, the number is 760-569-7676. Access code 200-446-pound. Again, 200-446-pound. You don't hit that pound, you ain't getting in here nothing.
Wake the fuck up.